Welcome to the Driving with Jonny review of the Ferrari F80. I'm Jonny, and you're getting the intro to this one in VO because my partner Rylick wasn't there to do all the camera stuff, and I screwed a lot of it up. But you know who didn't screw anything up? Ferrari. The F80 is the latest in a now decades-long line of legendary supercars from Modena. First came the 288 GTO, followed by the F40, the F50, the Enzo, and then 10 years ago, the world met the LaFerrari, a car so fantastic that it was enshrined in an automotive pantheon, along with the McLaren P1 and the Porsche 918 Spider, known as the Holy Trinity. Now comes the F80, and it is 5 seconds a lap quicker around Ferrari's test track than the LaFerrari. When you're talking about supercars or hypercars, you always start with the engine. And in the case of the Ferrari F80, there is a 3-liter twin electric turbo 120-degree V6 that's mounted to the asymmetrical carbon tub lower than my knee, and I'm 5'10". The electric turbos are big and they spin to 130,000 RPM, producing 3.7 atmospheres. That's 56 pounds of boost. That's wild. For some perspective, the Porsche 911 GTS Hybrid, which also has an electric turbo, makes 26.1 pounds of boost. The 917 race car in qualifying setup, where it makes 1,500 instead of 1,100 horsepower, that makes 30 PSI. 56 pounds is absolutely insane. The result is 888 horsepower from that 3-liter, or 296 ponies per liter. Nuts! There are 2 more electric motors up front, one for each wheel. They add another 296 horsepower. There's a total powertrain output of 1,184 horsepower. The Aston Martin Valkyrie, with its hybrid but naturally aspirated V12, makes 1,139. The front wheels of the F80 are not physically connected to the motor, so the engine's power goes through an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission that, unlike the 296 or the SF90 or even the race car, which share the same case for the transmission, has a physical reverse gear because, while there is a third motor, it doesn't actually power the wheels. What it does instead is it keeps the 2.3 kilowatt-hour battery juiced and keeps those front wheels spinning. It's worth singling out the brakes, as they're the best I've ever experienced on any production car. They are Brembo CCRM Plus, which stands for Carbon Ceramic Racing Material Plus. And they're not even built by Brembo. They're built by Brembo Racing. They are lifted right off the 296 Challenge car. They also use a brake-by-wire system. The result is it's just stupefyingly superb. The aerodynamics of this car are almost too complicated to explain, but know that about 1,000 pounds of downforce are on the front wheels, whereas 1,300 pounds compress the rears. That's about the same as an Aston Martin Valkyrie, and that car is an aerodynamicist's fever dream. The F80 also has 48-volt electric dampers whose sole purpose is to maintain the aero profile. Sure, the dampers also deal with ride quality and all that, but job one is keeping the F80 level so that the aero is always in full effect. Did I mention the 3D printed tires? No? Well, it's got those too. I don't know why, but it has them. All right, enough talk. Let's drive this thing.
Driving with Jonny!
I contacted a buddy of mine who buys cars like this at this price point, and before I even told him about how it was, he informed me that he would rather, quote, slash his wrists than buy an F80, end quote. Why? It's got a 6-cylinder. I wanted to tell him that said 6-cylinder makes more horsepower than all of the V12s that he owns, that the hardest part about driving the F80 is dealing with the fact that the V6 is always at or approaching red line. Seriously, I've never experienced a car that revs like this. I'm blaming all that boost, but what I really wanted to explain to my friend is why. Why I can state without reservation or hesitation that the Ferrari F80 is the best car I've ever driven. Ever. But I didn't. Instead, I'll explain it to you. And yeah, I mean, we're just sort of in a roundabout going 15 miles an hour, and it's just a totally normal car. But it's amazing that this thing, and you will see when we get to the track what it's actually capable of, but this thing can kind of like just calm down and be a regular, simple to drive, Ferrari. It's kind of easier to drive than other Ferraris. It's and in some ways maybe it's like, it's a 296 on every type of steroid known to man is one way to think about it, but it feels much larger as well, even though it's you can place it, it's comfy. The one thing I should talk about is the sound strategy that Ferrari was going with. They said, look, the world is becoming a worse place to drive. There's sound regulations in every country, and rather than dealing with that, the exhaust is quiet. The internet picked up on that, and they went crazy. It doesn't sound like anything, and Ferrari does make a bunch of V12s. What does this mean? But so they decided that, and again, really this car's like piece de resistance. This is like aerodynamics, how wacky they are. And what they decided was, you'll hear the aerodynamics, and as these things zing by, it sounds like a weather event. It's just absolutely nuts. And then inside, you really hear a lot more of the motor, and like everybody on the internet was like crying, like, "Whoa, there's no V12. How can they do it? Well, it's a supercar, hypercar, halo car without a V12." So, if you look at like the 288 GTO and the F40, well, the reason they did that is because like F1 at that time was using turbocharged engines, and then they went to the F50, which had a V12 because F1 was using V12s, and same with the Enzo, and then with the LaFerrari, hybridization started, and with this one, not only is like Ferrari's F1 team using a V6 with hybrid assist, but so's their very, very successful 499P. Again, it won Le Mans 3 times in a row, and so they're trying to create a link to that. I think it works, and I think it's just also one of those things like you need to experience this car's powertrain before you critique it, because otherwise you're just critiquing numbers. It's like, I don't like those numbers, rather than like how the car drives and how it feels. And again, the other thing is like a very large number of the people crying that this doesn't have a V12, their entire personality is defined by what color their 6-cylinder 911 is. You know what I'm saying? So like it just seems it's an odd complaint. And as far as packaging goes, by not having this long engine, this car doesn't have to be super long. And like again, if you look at the Valkyrie, it's sort of a packaging nightmare, at least for the human beings, whereas this is very roomy, very comfortable, and we can talk in inside voices, where the Valkyrie would be deaf right now. I'd have to be wearing noise-canceling headphones. So there's a lot of smart thinking that went into the F80, a lot more than maybe it first appeared when the images dropped on the internet. And then there's the looks. There's so much hate when this thing came out, or at least I saw a lot of the hate. But then, I saw a bunch of these in person. At the track, there was 5 of them. And they look cool. They're very sinister. There was a 288 GTO there, which is beautiful and my favorite Ferrari of all time. This is lower than that. These things are squat and they're wide. And then when you understand how the aero works, how the aerodynamics work with this thing, you just don't look at it like a regular car. You just kind of sit there with your jaw in your hand like, whoa, because it's just doing so much. As far as like, the seating position goes, the view out, very good. I like the steering wheel. It is kind of a flat square, which some people may not like. It resembles a yoke, but it's quite good. All the controls are on the wheel, which is fine. They all work well. And again, when you're just kind of driving around normal, it's like a slightly bumpier than normal regular car. It's kind of incredible knowing what I know about this thing's performance envelope. Also, it's very handy in Italy if you have a kind of a weird navigation piece of software and you get lost a lot. The trucks stop and let you in. Very kind. It's Gian Piero, right?
Yes, GP.
GP. Okay.
Everybody call me GP.
GP.
It's more easy.
Okay. I'm Johnny.
Johnny?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's Italian name.
Jonathan, but yeah,
Jonathan,
Gianni.
okay,
But
Jonathan.
Johnny.
Yes.
Everyone calls me Johnny. Yeah.
Jonathan, yes. Okay, yes. Okay, we can go. Keep the right here, yes.
Keep the right.
The car has to be straight. And now downshift to 4 and 3. Okay.
Bend it in.
Go in. Now open the steering wheel and we go. Up. Okay, up. Now brake here with the car straight. You go there, brake, downshift, 4, 3. Okay, keep the car straight.
Okay.
Yes. Now brake, yes. Off the brake. Good. Stay left.
Oh.
Okay, no problem. Of course, if you got too quick on the power, it's going.
Right.
Yes, keep the left. Off the brake. You go in. Yes. Okay. Good. Now, second gear. Keep inside. Yes. Okay. Now you go in progression. Free. Stay right. Little brake. Yes. Cut inside. Open the steering wheel. Bravo. Up. Okay. Now brake. Stay on the brake. 3. No. Don't brake and turn in.
Right.
Off the brake. We go in. Okay. Now. Yes. Prepare the gear. 3. Yes. Gas off. Wait. Keep inside. Yes. Keep the car straight. 4. Okay. No. Without braking. No need it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yes, no. Without. Now. Second. Keep inside. You can go up. Short shifting.
Short shift to third. Yeah.
Not too much gas. Keep right. Release a little bit. Yes. Bravo. Open the steering wheel. We go. Okay. Stay. Good. Okay. Wait. Yes. Open the gear. Stay on the brake. 3. Bravo.
Okay. Open it up.
Now 4.
Wow.
Okay. Yes. Stay on the brake. Prepare the gear. 3 and 2. 2.
2.
Okay. Yes. Keep the car straight. Let's go. Up. Okay. Brake. Yes. Off the brake. Very light brake here.
Light brake. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
stronger. Okay. Brake. Yeah. Off the brake. Off. Yeah, full gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is second gear. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Inside.
Gotta learn the track.
No problem. Okay, off the brake, cut inside. Yes. Open the steering wheel. Bravo. Yes. Now brake. Okay, stay. Wait. Turning. Yes. Wait. Yes. Don't use the caps on it. Now brake harder. Yes. Stay. No, stay. Yes.
Okay.
You need to prepare the gear. Until you are not the gear, right? You need to wait.
Okay.
With the brake.
Okay. So get into the gear, then come off the
Yes.
brakes.
Otherwise, it was.
And then you should be in third. That's the third.
Gas third gear.
Third. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We have one more laps.
Okay. All right. This is second. Yep.
Okay. Be patient here. Let's release. In progression. Okay. Now open the steering wheel. Up. Okay. Now go inside. Stay on the brake. Prepare the gear. Second. Okay. Yes. Keep gas. Open the steering wheel. Up. Okay. Up. Remember to brake. Yes.
Well, light brake, yeah.
Wait with the gas. Don't use the gas like a switch.
Right, yeah, that's a... oh, sorry, so
Yes,
this
bravo,
is second,
bravo.
this is second, yeah.
This is
Okay,
second.
okay.
The power, we never use like a switch on off.
I know, I'm bad about that.
No.
I know.
Light brake, cut inside. Yes, yes. Up. Now, brake. Stay. Okay, be patient here. Open the steering wheel, let's go. Okay. Okay. Now, brake. Stay on the brake, stay. Prepare here. Bravo.
Yay!
See the difference.
Okay.
Yes.
I got, yeah, that
Now,
felt... Cool down. GP, that was fun.
We cool down. It was good, eh? This one was good.
Yeah. Long story short, I've just never experienced a car so thoroughly and completely eat up a road the way the F80 does. In my personal garage of best handling cars I've ever driven, before the trip was like the 992.2 GT3 RS, a Ferrari 296, the Gunther Works Turbo. The F80, it beats them all. It beats them all hands down. It beats them all so hard, there's no second place. The F80 makes the Lamborghini Revuelto a hypercar that I absolutely love. It makes that feel like a Buick Roadmaster. It's that good. It's that sharp. It's that revolutionary. The F80, it attacks the road with a ferocity not normally seen in track cars, let alone street cars. I'm almost at a loss describing just how precise, rapid, and fun this beast is. Like, the Valkyrie might be as good, as precise, as quick, but it's just not as much fun. This thing, it's a riot. You're laughing and screaming and happy and joyful. Ferrari claims the F80 is a distillation of everything it's learned over the past 8 decades. And as always, I hate to ever agree with the marketing, but I don't see any reason to disagree. In fact, at dinner, after we got done driving the cars, a couple of my colleagues, we sat around and we had conversations, and two things stood out to me. One was, will anyone believe us when we tell them how incredibly good the F80 is? And then the other question was, it wasn't even a question, just this creeping sense of depression because we'll never get to experience the F80 like this again. Not on the street and not on the track, and surely not in the ridden hard, put away soaking wet manner in which we absolutely beat on these poor cars. So yes, for the 799 owners who are plopping down around $4 million before options for an F80, not only am I jealous, but I think you're getting something of a deal. After all, can you really put a price on the best car ever made? I don't think so. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Driving with Jonny. I hope you loved it. I hope you loved it about as much as I loved the Ferrari F40. Even half as much is great. If you did, or if you hated it and you think I'm crazy, go ahead and tell me why. Leave a comment down below. Also, if you could like and share the video and then subscribe to our channel, it really helps us out and that would be hella sweet. Also, if you want to follow me on Instagram, I get into a lot more stuff that I'm able to cover on YouTube. Just search for my name, Jonny Lieberman, and we will see you on the next episode of Driving with Jonny.